All right, good afternoon. I'd like to call to order Planning and Development Committee meeting of February 4th, 2026. Grimsby and Niagara region are situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendourong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara and the town of Grimsby stand with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship on the lands on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder to approve the agenda? All right, Member Drew, and second by Member Potter. Moved by Member Drew, second by Member Potter. Resolved that the agenda for the February 4th, 2026 Planning and Development Committee meeting be approved. All in favor? That's carried. All right. Can I have a mover and seconder to get the draft plan and the standard condominium report for 25 Main Street East on the floor for discussion? Moved by Councillor Bradsey, second by Member Drew. Manny, please go ahead. Come to the podium. Or, yeah, there you have them. No, there's fine.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Do we have the slides up? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Tonight we have before us an application for a draft plan of standard condominium for 25 Main Street East. So you maybe you're already familiar with this development under the more commonly referred to name as Century Condos. It's currently under construction near the corner of Ontario Main Street. So this application right now is to establish the framework to legally subdivide the interior individual units for ownership and to establish the common areas. There's no changes to the building envelope proposed. The bill form was established through the site plan approval process and through the OPA and ZBA via an LPAT decision in 2021. Next slide. Just a reminder of this is the rendering of the building when it will be completed. Currently it's under construction, so this will be the final product. And next slide. And again, it fronts onto Main Street and all access also through Doran. It was an assembly of a few lots, 6 Doran and 21 and 23 Main Street East. But it will be in the application it's referred to as 25 Main Street East. So here's the actual draft plan itself, showing the unit breakdown and the common areas in plan view. It's in Appendix A of the report. Next slide. And in terms of the unit breakdown for the condominium application, there are to be 85 residential units, 107 residential parking space units, 88 locker units, 2 commercial units, and 18 commercial parking space units. Additionally, there's 21 visitor spaces, and bike parking is handled both through on-site bike racks and communal bike parking room. Next slide. So quick summary of the comments that we received. The application itself was circulated in November through December, and the agencies that returned comments have been included here. For the most part, there's no objections and no comments. In terms of Grimsby's planning staff, we've laid out conditions of final approval in Appendix B, and the Niagara region also likewise included some clauses to be included into the final agreements, but generally they were carryovers from the site plan agreement process. Next slide. So staff's recommendations are that report PA-26-01, draft plan of standard condominium, 25 Main Street East, 26 CD 16 2501, dated February 4th, 2026 is to be received, and that the committee recommend council approve the draft plan of standard condominium of 25 Main Street East, attached to the report as Appendix A, subject to the conditions of approval attached to the report as Appendix B. And that's all.
Great. Thank you for your presentation, Manny. Questions or comments from planning? Councillor Bradzi.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan, through you. Manny, thank you very much for the report. I'm just kind of curious to the 25 Main Street, is that going to be the address for this building going all the way through, or is it going to at some point switch to a rear street address? Sorry if it's off topic, but.
This is probably best answered by the agent, by Jared on the phone or on the video call. But as far as we know, it's 25 Main Street. It's according to the draft, the actual plan itself.
Just a comment, I'd assume that the businesses who front on Main Street will have an address, so. Seeing no further questions, moved by Councillor Bradzi, second by Member Drew, resolved that report PA 26-01, draft plan of standard condominium 25 Main Street East, 26 CD 16 2501, dated February 4th, 2026, be received, and that the committee recommend council approve the draft plan of standard condominium of 25 Main Street East attached to the report as Appendix A, subject to the conditions of approval attached to the report as Appendix B. All in favor? That's carried. Can I have a mover and seconder to get the municipal addressing information report on the floor for discussion? Member Potter and Member Drew. Lauren?
It's Michaela.
Oh, it's Michaela?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Michaela.
Hi, everyone. Michaela Bray, intermediate planner with the town. Thank you, Mayor Jordan, councilors and members. I'm going to be just speaking a couple points about our municipal addressing project. It's still in the really early stages, but I've been working on it with Lauren, our policy planner here. So just a couple points before we get into the discussion. I don't have a formal presentation, but kind of what we touched upon in the report is that we don't have a municipal addressing bylaw in Grimsby, and doing proper municipal addressing is essential for public safety as well as navigation, as well as efficiency of emergency services. And this was a staff identified gap in kind of our policy process. We don't have a municipal addressing bylaw, like I said, or any sort of policy currently. So we undertook a scan of what other municipalities are doing in Ontario, and we found that a municipal addressing bylaw is a common tool outlining numbering standards, design standards, as well as the administrative duties and bylaw enforcement. And we think that a municipal addressing bylaw would improve our processes and have written guidance as well. So what we're asking for tonight is just direction that this is a project and a bylaw that we should continue looking into and eventually creating a municipal addressing bylaw. So if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michaela. Questions or comments from council? I just have one, like, are we going to still keep the number system the same? Like, we're not going to try to move to like the way Lincoln is with a 4-digit number?
Yeah, so kind of the intent of the bylaw would be anything that exists already, we wouldn't change. And then we would come up with our own system that works for Grimsby. And then any new addressing from the date of the bylaw forward would be using the new addressing system or existing patterns that we already use. So we're not overhauling or coming up with completely new systems. We would find what works for Grimsby and then kind of implement it into the bylaw, and can either continue using patterns that exist and work well, or having an ideal pattern that would work best for the town.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Bradz.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan, through you. Speaking of town of Lincoln, so I have businesses in the town of Lincoln, they recently went through and all the postal codes changed. Could this potentially trigger something of that type or no?
Not that I'm aware of, because the postal codes are assigned by Canada Post. So that would be something that would be initiated by Canada Post. We would just be assigning municipal addresses like 10 Main Street sort of thing, and then postal codes would be through Canada Post.
Thank you. That's good.
All right, again, thank you. Moved by Member Potter, second by Member Drew. Resolved that report PA 26-02 Municipal Addressing Information Report dated February 4th, 2026 be received for information, and that a draft municipal addressing bylaw and associated procedure be prepared for approval. All in favor? That's carried. Can I get a mover and seconder to get the draft plan of standard condominium report for 15 Lake Street on the floor for discussion? Moved by Councillor Bradzi, second by Member Potter. So we're, welcome, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, thank you. So good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to be discussing before us an application for a draft plan of standard condominium at 15 Lake Street. So I wanted to provide some background on this application. It's gone through some various stages. So primarily this application, this subject site has come in previously for an existing vacant condominium that was approved in May of 2019. And now after that, in 2021, it was approved for a zoning bylaw amendment that implemented site-specific RM1 367 for multi-residential development in the area. And then so following that, there was a site plan application that was actually approved May of last year, and that essentially permits the townhouses along with the 6 parking spaces and the laneway that you kind of see in the draft plan as we move on to the next slide. I do want to note that this site is kind of known through the applicant's website as the Grimsby waterfront condos. So along with the townhouses, there's also a proposed apartment building, but this application is only for the townhouses. Here is just the location of the subject lands. As you can see that they're located south of Lake Ontario, just kind of adjacent to the main marinas there, as well as 40 Mile Creek, and the 2 main streets that you kind of see in the vicinity are Lake Street and Maple Avenue. Tonext slide. Thank you. So this is the draft plan for the condominium. You can see that it outlines 8 townhouse condos with their own private parking/driveways, as well as 6 additional parking spots. And there's also the common element laneway that they'll be using. Next slide. This is just for your visuals. This is just what's currently under construction. So once again, the site plan is what determined the built form. So these are actually currently under construction. They're going through final inspections. But this is the rendering that I found on the applicant's website. Perfect, thank you. And here's a summary of the comments received. The application was circulated throughout November and December for comments. We didn't really receive any comments or objections. The NPCA, given that this property is a waterfront property, did note some clauses for the assumption agreement that can be found in Appendix B, and also the Niagara Region also noted some standard clauses that can also be found in Appendix B. Next slide. So staff recommendation is that report PA 2603, draft plan of standard condominium for 15 Lake Street, dated February 4th, 2026, be received, and that the committee recommend council approval, that the draft plan of standard condominium of 15 Lake Street attached to the report is Appendix A and subject to the conditions of approval attached to the report of Appendix B be sent forth for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Swaroop. Any questions from committee? Seeing none, moved by Councillor Bradzi, second by Member Potter. Resolved that report PA 26-03, application for draft plan standard condominium at 15 Lake Street, 26 CD 162502, dated February 4th, 2026, be received, and that committee recommend council approve draft plan of standard condominium attached as Appendix A and subject to the conditions in Appendix B of this report. All in favor? And that's carried. Are there any other business, or is there any other business pertaining to the committee? Seeing none, next Planning and Development Committee meeting is scheduled for March 4th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and sorry for being late. Meeting is adjourned.